If you are in my class, we're recording third period, and today is November 7th, but this is the same lesson that everybody else got yesterday. This is going to be a practice quiz. You're going to take a quiz on graphing using slope-intercept form, and I actually think the quiz is pretty easy, but I wanted to run through a few of these just because it's been a few days since we did them. So I want to do number 11 first, so let's zoom in on number 11. When you get the quiz today, the first two questions will not have graphs. The first two questions, all I want you to do is tell me the slope and the y-intercept. The slope is going, and this line is going to be 2/3 because that's the thing next to the x. And the y-intercept is, just in case anybody from my class is listening to this or watching it on YouTube, you are listening to, I'm not calling out names. Don't make me call out names. Okay, that was, the y-intercept is, don't put 4, I want you to put the point, 0, 4. So the first two questions, that's all I'm going to ask you guys to give me that information. Two things. What's the slope? What's the y-intercept? I'm just checking to make sure you know how to read y equals mx plus b and what all the parts mean. Then the rest of the quiz, you're going to graph these. So 0, 4 goes right here. And then we're going to use the slope, 2/3, to find another point and draw the line. Well, 2/3 means you are going to go up 2 and over 3. So I go up 2 boxes, over 3 boxes. And so you'll have another point right here. Right there. Then we grab a ruler and draw a line, and we are done with that problem. So if you are lucky, the computer gives you, when I do the randomized quizzes, gave you a bunch of questions like this. There'll be some other ones though, so they'll be a little tricky, so I wanted to work some of these. I also want you to keep this piece of paper that you're using right now, keep it out for the quiz. You get to use your whole notebook, but this is going to be kind of a good review just on this one sheet. Do you guys want to ask anything about that? Does that sound familiar? All right, let's move up to number 7. I wanted to do number 11 first because it has a nice positive slope that's easy to count, and it has a nice positive y-intercept. But when I get up to number 11, now we have a negative slope. So the slope is negative 3/4. And the y-intercept, again, if I ask you for the y-intercept, I want the point. You don't say 2. You give me the point 0, 2. You plot it right there. Then we use the slope to find a second point. Well, it's negative 3, so I got to go down 3 and then over 4. 1, 2, 3. Down 3. Over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are reviewing. We've been working on this for like a week, so I am going a little fast. You'll have to stop me. If you're in the class, you can stop me. If you're on YouTube, you can pause, but you can't really ask me anything unless you want to put it in the comments. All right. Oh, wait, I forgot to write 4. 4 goes that way. I always run to the right. Always run to the right. Any question on that one? Okay, so you guys are this is the last period to take the quiz. All the periods before you took it yesterday, and they had questions. So I want to go over some stuff on here to try to answer those questions for you before you ask them, because I already know what they're going to be. Number 9 is one that might generate a question because there's no y-intercept listed. Do you guys know what to do with that? Yeah. Plus 0. So, I mean, it's we know that when you're not stressed, but when you get a quiz, someone might second guess themselves, so I wanted to put it here. I know that the slope is 3/5, there's nothing different about that, but that y-intercept is going to be 0, 0. So that's it right there. And then we just use the slope 3/5 to get another point, up 3 over 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, boom, boom. And draw the line. And while I'm on that one, there's a couple others that came up that throw people off. So I need to use some empty space. I'm not going to do number 8. I am going to do number 10 though, so I want to keep that open. I want to do that one last. But this space right here in between 7 and 8 on this page, I want to show you a couple things in case you are the one who gets this quiz. Somebody's going to get y equals x. We talked about that last week real briefly, but not too much. So it comes across as being real odd, like you just doesn't seem like there's enough information. But if you see y equals x, this is what you have to think. It is 1x plus 0. And that's your clue for the quiz as far as how you're going to get the slope and what the y-intercept is. And that's all I'm going to put there. And another one that could happen, the other question that I saw yesterday, or heard yesterday, is somebody's going to get this on their quiz, or something like it. The 5 isn't the issue. The issue is what is the slope when there's a negative in front of the x. So you have to think that means negative 1x plus 5. And if you think that, then you can see the slope and you can see the y-intercept and you can go from there. These are just hints for your quiz. Not going to help you do it once you see it, but I'll answer questions right now. Does anyone want to ask anything about those two? Is it clear? Okay, they are nodding. All right, the last thing that could happen, and it has nothing to do with the math, it has everything to do with how these things are printed on the paper. Every single problem is going to have the same size graph. But they're still changing the numbers around randomly. So that means the graph may not fit your problem, and this is how you can handle it. I'll show you 2 ways to do it. So number 10 does that. So for number 10, we know that the slope is negative 5/3, and the y-intercept is 0, negative 3. So we're already starting down in the negatives. 0, negative 3 would be right there. And then from here, according to this slope, I'm supposed to go down 5 and then over 3. Okay, well, I'm going to run out of graph. So you can keep going and write in your own boxes. If I go this far, 1, 2, 3, I've got to go down 1 more. I got to go down 1 more, and that's 5 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is negative 5. And I'm doing this for you before we start because a lot of times when we're taking quizzes, when stuff like this happens, we think we're doing it wrong. You know, you think the computer's smart enough to give you a graph that's going to fit your problem. No, it's not. It's using the same ones every time. But now I got to go over 3 from here. So I'm right here, and then I go over 3. 1, 2, 3. And so I'd be right there, and that would be where my point is. This would be 3. That's one way to do it. That's pretty straightforward. The other way to do it would be to do these numbers backwards. So instead of using -5 over 3, use a +5 and a -3. It still works out to be a -5/3 slope, but if from here what we would do, let me get a different color. This is the y-intercept. I would go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would go up 5 and then back up 3 to get that negative. So I go up 5 and a -3 there, and then the point would be there. And it works because you guys can see they all line up. So you're on the same line no matter which way you do that. This probably makes more sense to some people. To me, this is like on Stranger Things. This is the upside down world to me. So, okay, then I got it. That's the line. All right, that's the end of the quiz, like, review before you're going to take it. Do you guys want to ask anything before we do the next thing?
Are we doing all these problems?
You're going to have 6, I think you have 6 problems on the quiz. 2 where you just tell me the slope and the y-intercept, and then 4 where you graph.